Hey guys, Justin and Ash back from We Rise Consultancy. Just another one of our hot tips, one of our Take Me Higher chats. There'll be a series of these coming your way as we sort of have the thoughts and the conversations about them. Today we're going to touch on self-care and the importance of how that is for each and every one of us and how it can be more of a tool to use rather than just looking after our soft skills and soft parts, but really using that as a business skill to grow you personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Just?
Yeah, so you're right. We thought we'd kind of give this the topic, be selfish. And I think being selfish as kind of for a lot of people conjures up these negative connotations of, like, you've got to put other people before yourself. You've got to, being selfish is not a good thing, but actually, in the right circumstances, I think we both agree that, it's something you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think every day I look at things that I do and I think I'm being selfish, but I'm being selfish for the right reasons. It allows me to continue to show up for you as a business partner, for my wife and my son, my family. I can be the best version of me as a father by giving myself time to relax, to grow, for self-help, all those sort of things that I wouldn't be able to be there for if I didn't have that time to myself.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I think, it does prevent burnout. It does give you boundaries. And, sometimes it's uncomfortable. You kind of got to put yourself through a bit of a journey, like, okay, I'm going to sit down for half an hour. I'm going to relax for a bit now. I'm just going to kind of take myself out of the frame. And that can feel a bit selfish to start with when there's things going on around you. But I know we talked about it in an earlier video. If you're not filling up your cup, if your battery's not recharging, then you're going around on empty, and that's not good for you or your team around you.
Yeah, that's right. And as you've said before, that you succumb to being a people pleaser. And you really can't do that unless you're being selfish and looking after yourself. You can't look after others unless your cup is full. There's no way that you can fill anyone else's up when you're running on empty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that we talked about off camera was this personal growth piece as well, right? So I think especially in your 20s and your 30s, when you are trying to figure out, who I am, how I want to show up in the world, what I want my career to look like, you have to implement a bit of that selfish thinking. You have to set yourself goals, and you have to be ruthless about how you go about doing it.
Yeah. And that sort of ties in nicely to increasing your levels of productivity. You often give to others, whether it's members of your team, whether it's superiors, subordinates, family, and every time you give to someone else, it sort of chinks away at that ability for you to be productive. That's when you take that time to go say, no, I can't help with that. I can't turn up for a business meeting for whatever reason. I need to be productive and grow our business. Business meetings are a good example where they can some go from being productive to just a bit of a waste of time. It's when you need to be selfish and say, right, let's cut it. I've got to go and do this. We can either come back to this or we can finish there and take what we've got out of it.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I'm hearing you talk about productivity, and it's got that military connotation for me, missions, etc. Trying to actually deliver on a mission. If you're depleted and your cup's not full, then you're probably not going to give the best of yourself.
Yeah, it's a great analogy to use, that sort of military sort of direction, that it can be quite awkward and rude at times. This is what you're doing, this is where you're doing it, and this is how you're doing it. I need you to do that because I'm being selfish, because I need to be doing something else. So I need to know that you've got that covered, that you understand your task, and it will be done. So I can then rely on another person to be doing that, and you're kind of a link in the chain. And I need to understand that chain won't break.
I find it fascinating because I think my career has been more in that corporate space, and I probably think of it in the same way around creativity. So if I haven't got that blue sky thinking, if I'm looking for a new partner for a business opportunity, or if I'm looking to try and bring the best of the outside world to my company and push the best of my company into the outside world, I need to be creative. I need blue sky thinking, and I can't do that if I've got all these pressures coming in on me. I need this done by that time. I need to come to this meeting. Exactly to your point, you start getting diminishing returns based on that.
That's right. And I look at members of our team, and I tell them, be selfish. If I'm taking too much of your time, tell me to back off, because I need their time. They need to give me their time, but they also need their own time for their own lives. So there's that satisfaction piece.
Yeah.
That you need to look after yourself and be satisfied within your own skin, within your profession, within your personal life. One doesn't take from the other. You need them separated, and to be selfish and to say, no, that's work, that's family, that's freedom, that's my other life away from work. Be selfish about that and enjoy both cups effectively.
Absolutely. Again, it kind of gets me in that mindset of, once you get that right, you establish those boundaries, you are selfish, you draw circles around the things that you need to protect.
Yeah.
You can start to avoid resentment.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that has happened for me, I think, a lot over my career, where I have started working on weekends, or, emails have been going off in my pocket, while the kids are playing, and I boil over.
Yeah.
It might not necessarily sort of, come out and, in that space, but in my mind I'm thinking, the phone's going, or, I need to get that thing to somebody by Sunday night. And I start to feel resentful. And then nobody wins. Work don't get the best out of you. You don't get the best out of yourself, and your family suffer as well.
And I think that's something that almost everyone can relate to. I think that will really hit home that point, that you will be resentful if you're not selfish.
Yeah.
Be selfish for the right reasons at the right times, and it will lead to a whole lot more of a positive experience.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's that upward cycle of happiness, as opposed to that downward cycle of kind of, resentment, disappointment. So if you want a more fulfilled life, believe it or not, you've got to be selfish.
Be selfish
Yeah.
for the right reasons.
Awesome.
Nice. Cool.